Won't. So LGD Gaming, they didn't really play the.
It's like he's fairly weak early on, but when you get to the mid-late game. By the way, why is he wearing a lamp on his head? All right. So anyway,
Who?
when Necrophos, I don't know. This is reminding me of a lamp somehow.
It's you know those things you hang over the doors and like the bead doors things to keep the flies out.
I don't know. This looks interesting. I don't think I've seen this cosmetic before, so it caught me by surprise. Okay, anyway. When you're playing against Necrophos, he's fairly weak in lane, but then when it comes to the mid-late game, especially when he has Ags, your general concept of how Dota works, this hero just breaks it with Ag Scepter. It's, for me, perhaps the most fundamentally imbalanced thing in the game is Necrophos Ag's ultimate. When it comes to late game, it just wins games for that reason. I'm not personally that big a fan of removing the buyback mechanic with a spell, so I guess I'm also biased against it. I just don't like it. But it's cool to have something extreme like that. But I feel like that's one of the mechanics that it's just very dangerous to change like his ultimate does with Ags. But that's why you really don't want to go super late game against Necros, because even if you have good late game, if you make one mistake, your hero's gone for 2 minutes and you can't do anything. Like you can lose 2 lanes of racks after you're 20k gold ahead, because say you have a single core PA, she dies to Necrol. Too bad. Too bad, buddy.
The battle
You just lost. Okay.
Tribute.
As long as they can keep enough people alive to push enough to, yeah, you're right. But at the same time, that's the risk you play when you go up against Necro. Because Necro, obviously the ulti is fantastic when you get to late game, but what happens in the meantime? Like your early game, you got some nice survivability, but it's also a hero who doesn't have a stun, who has no real control. He's got great lane presence, but as long as you can match that, you're fine. Which surprisingly they're not. Okay, yeah, no, they are. Lich is coming back up to the top lane. So they run Lich and Bristle on the top. Already MMY as well as Sylar getting up in the face here of Luo. With the arrival of Faith, they'll back up a little bit more. Bottom lane's gonna be burning up against Batrider. So Brew on Bat. A little bit of support will be there from Chuan, who's the line. But Zhao is on this roaming Earthshaker and heading down to the bottom lane to help out his Batrider. And that leaves the middle lane combination, maybe up against Ferrari. The SF versus the Quap. That basically wraps up our lanes.
Yeah, I think out of this laning situation, IG are probably going to have an advantage from the lanes. They have a dual lane with Lich. They get to run 2-1-2s that I think they actually can win all 3 lanes. The bottom lane's the trickier one. Ferrari is currently beating Maybe, as he should early on with Quap versus SF. He's got a pretty good lane position. Unfortunately for him, probably won't be able to hold the wave here entirely. Or maybe he will. Nah, this will be pushing. He can't stop this. But he's still got a very good head start against Maybe so far. Top lane, Lich plus anyone in a 2-on-2 lane generally has a good time. And of course he's going to be stacking the Ancients as well for Bristle later on. And then bottom lane, Brew Lion against Shaker Bat. What's the score right now on that lane? Bat has 2-0 and Brew has 6-2, so I want to say IG are winning all 3 lanes. They're not out farming the Necrophos top, but they will when Bristle gets the stack.
Nice little battle between Chuan as well as Zhao 8. Zhao 8 throws the Fissure, Chuan throws the Earth Spike, and they both battle for the Regeneration Rune.
Well, Chuan got it.
Yep.
And that's going to be the last clarity out of Xiao 8.
I was actually worried too, because like when you said, oh, 8 burnings in front of the CS, I'm like, well, that's because he's committing Clamp to find the last hits, because he can't just do it with a sticky napalm on him. But with the stick charge already up and running, okay, Chuan, that's problematic right there. Burning needs to go for the Clamp, but Chuan, he's inside the fire, he's going to miss the stun completely. Gets the Hex instead over on Yao, but first blood still spilt. The Earthshaker, Zhao 8 will be the man to claim it. An LGD.
Very nice initiation angle from Yao, finding out the Lion here, and Chuan, like you said, a little bit of misplay.
He did something weird though, like he came out through the creep line, took the aggro of the creep wave, and then dragged the creep wave over. Then all he had to do was throw a sticky napalm. The turn rate was way too slow, and he gets stuck to the trees as he tries to walk through them.
Well, A little bit of a mistake from Sean. Does give a first blood over here, and like you said, it goes to Shaker. I think that's maybe better than Bat getting it. That's the boots for Xiaowei that he really needs. Shaker is one of those supports that can do with very little goal. It's like, he's a special design in the sense that this hero, in theory, doesn't really need anything apart from a Blink Dagger and any source of mana. Like a Soul Ring or Arcane Boots is enough. But in the super early game, he's fine playing the first, like, even the first 20 minutes with boots only. But at some point, you're going to want the Blink. And getting into the boots faster like this, which Xiaowei's doing, is a good head start at getting his mana item.
Because once he's got that, then the rest of his team are going to be happy chappies. I'm interested to see what MMY is going to be using this smoke, which he purchased very, very early on. If he's intending on teaming up with Earthshaker, who's doing the stacks for his teammates at the moment. Actually ended up failing that one with the Wild Wings.
Man, SF is getting run over though.
Wow,
I mean,
you're right.
This is a quad favored lane, but Ferrari's destroying maybe. Well, 21-15 against 7-1.
Hey, run away.
Yeah,
The Fisher's
nice
in a nice position and Fate's in a really bad spot. He'll end up dying here, so LGD will take a secondary kill. This one will go to the Batrider and not to Xiaowei. And with Batrider's Firefly, he can just walk away. In fact, well, do they want to? Now burning Xiaowei left behind to die. It'll end up being a 1-1 trade-off. But I think LGD is still happy with that, considering they did have the line pick up the haste rune. That would be very possible to get away.
Yeah, the rune did go to IG, so getting a kill there is fine. They, however, also committed, I want to say they committed more in the rotation in a way for LGD, or maybe it was actually just flat out even. But the thing is, as long as those rotations and trade-offs are even and Ferrari is just destroying Shadow Fiend, IG are winning this laning stage. They have to stack more for the SF than they have. Maybe currently has one, let's see, that's one double stack plus, that's actually all there is for him. And he's level 4, so he can't even farm it yet. Ferrari is almost level, he's 6.5. I guess the Shadow Fiend who isn't even level 5. So he can't stand in the lane. And the rotations for ganks are very difficult for LGD to perform since the supports are not that good at ganking a quad. Fissure doesn't really work that well, neither does Cask. And now IG are actually even going to go and block the camp. This is like the ultimate thorn in the side of the Shadow Fiend. This is his recovery. If he doesn't even get this recovery, he's pretty screwed actually for the next 5 minutes.
They're waiting to kill him. They want to make sure there's like they cripple both of his legs.
Oh, they're going to steal the Bristle. That's even worse.
Welcome to level 6 for Bristleback. Also,
yeah, he still has his own stack remaining.
It's very... Wait, they're actually backing up so he can get level 6?
Yep.
I almost wish that Faith stuck around for that, because he's so underleveled at this point.
Now, what are the levels in LGD? 4 on Witch Doctor, 2 on Shaker though. So it's a slight win for XP on LGD supports here. Question is if they can convert it into anything meaningful. This Witch Doctor will probably get a pretty fast level 6, but not really the best Witch Doctor ulti game either, right? Against the Bristleback, it doesn't do too much to him. Bruce Split doesn't care about it, and Quap can always blink it, so he's not your ideal high-level support for this matchup.
Just watching this middle. Chuan came down, stunned up over on Xiaowei, and Xiaowei instantly asked for TP support because he realized the Queen of Pain is over level 6, which means you're dealing with a Sonic Wave. Or potentially dealing with a Sonic Wave. And that burst damage would be enough for Ferrari to get the kill and get straight back out again. The only reason why he didn't jump underneath the tier 1 tower is because maybe he was there. He had to jump past the tower in order to stay alive and get the kill.
But what are we looking at for LGD right now? The Necrophos is keeping up nicely. LGD's Salar in the safe lane getting the good farm. Shadow Fiend, like we said, was far behind. He's starting to get something. Now he can raise the wave a little bit easier. He's sitting on 22 against about the 40 of Ferrari. Then the offlane Batrider, 13 for nil against 28 on the Bristle. So, as I was talking about earlier, I think IG can win all 3 lanes, and in my opinion they have. Styler is still ahead on gold over the Bristle, but there's still a triple stack Ancients that Bristle can take, and that's like 1,000 gold, and then he's suddenly ahead. Yep. So LGD probably need to go and find this stack and either try to farm it themselves, which I think is impossible, or try to take a fight there. Get vision and secure it. It's a really big deal getting all that gold over. Yao looking for the bottom, but Tron's actually there with the Regent, so he's casting for free. It's annoying him here.
I don't see a way LGD can farm up ancient stacks. Like, they can farm up normal stacks with razors, but up against the ancients, they don't really have anything to work with.
No.
I think maybe he's realized the camp's been blocked up. Well, the fact he
Dire's
pinked it out,
bottom
but look where the
tower
two
is
sentry
under
wards are
attack.
from LGD. They're looking further down here.
I think one of them wanted to counter ward the cliff, and the other one might be looking for the blocking ward, but it's not there. And now maybe he's in a really
Radiant's
bad
middle
position
tower
here.
is under attack.
Oh, they're TPing in the shaker. Oh, never mind. Yeah, they had the sentry there actually. I don't think that was the purpose of this ward. It was placed like 2 minutes ago, but ends up actually saving Shadowfiend from a gank. So that's a nice multi-purpose ward.
I don't know if he would have just died to that though. With 4-point Scream as well as 1-point Sonic Wave, was that really enough damage? Because there's no other support there. Burning wasn't ready. He wasn't in position. Now he does have ult phase as well as Burning and gonna smoke up.
Well, what he could have done was opening with Shadow Strike, because he was invis, right? So he could have gone in melee range with Shadowfiend, open with Shadow Strike, Scream Sonic, and then hit him a couple times. And then he would have got it, for sure. But the sentry keeps him alive. Shaker comes in, and Ferrari doesn't go for it. But regardless, even if he doesn't get that kill, there's one place Shadowfiend isn't, and that's in the lane.
Dire's
It's not
middle
farming.
tower is
Bottom
under
lane's having some
attack.
fun. Chuan with the Hex. He's stopping Yao from getting that last 2 off on him. He's going to get it off now, but the Firefly is almost spent its entire duration. Chuan just binds the remainder of his Tranquil Boost before death. Meanwhile, up on top lane, Faye's been hit pretty hard. And they're going after that Witch Doctor. He let the Malediction off, which is why Faye's taking so much damage too.
Is under
And with the
attack.
Brewmaster split, they end up getting a
Dire's
couple.
middle tower
Both the
is under
Necro
attack.
plus the Witch Doctor will end up dropping. As Ferrari was looking to force the issue up against Zhao Wei, and here he goes. Sonic Wave's available, but he's not going to do it. He holds.
It's not going to be enough for the kill.
Looking
He'll
at
get the
bottom.
bottom rune though. Invis as Burning ports
Dire's
down.
top tower is under
No
attack.
towers being claimed here actually.
It's all about the kills.
Not even much damage being done, so I can see if you wanted to try to trade a little bit bottom. They got about half the tower. But the Brewmaster getting topped together with Lich and Bristol barely even did damage to the tower. That's usually what you want to do with Brew early, is that collateral, that you get the kill and then the tower. But looks like mid-tier 1, as a matter of fact, will be the first one IG claims. Ferrari has just been playing it off to maybe here. Nice denied
Dire's
by maybe
middle
though.
tower has been denied.
He's got all of his souls up. He's got a large amount of damage, so getting denied like that up against a hero like Queen of Pain with not that much base damage works easy. Still looking down at that bottom lane with Burning, just farming till his heart's
Dire's
absolutely
bottom
content.
tower is under
Pushing
attack.
into tier 1 towers. Initiating for LGD is almost impossible because what do you got Fissure and Paralyzing
Dire's
Cast currently on the lane,
structures are
but the
fortified.
Necro is not ready to fight.
Dire's bottom
It's almost
tower
one of those
is under
games where you
attack.
look at Sylar thinking maybe it'd be a good idea to use that Scythe of his in order to use it more like a stun. Like get an early Blink Dagger, jump in and use it for control so the SF and Batrider can do the damage.
Dire's
Is that
bottom
almost
tower
worth
is
it?
under attack. Dire's bottom tower.
I don't know. I
has
think
fallen.
well, he's definitely. I wouldn't say get Ags first, right? He's gonna get. Oh, what's that? That's the blink on bad. You were talking about Necrophos, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
This is also assuming the Shadow Fiend's going to be building the mech instead.
yeah, I
Maybe said.
needs some form of goodbye. He's gonna need some form of mobility. The Scythe is a nice choice, but I think it's too greedy of a build-up. They're gonna need a smaller item that does something early. An item like, this is one of the few heroes, I'm not a fan of Rod of Atos, but this is one of the heroes that it can actually be pretty nice on. The tankiness is very good, the int is nice for keeping them on for your spells, and it's going to make it very easy for Shadowfiend to hit raise combos. It's going to be easier for Shaker to like with Fissures.
Fight time. Fight time. Jump off by Burning. Clap, split. Sylar going to get controlled. Sonic Wave hits hard on the 3 players from LGD. The buyback came instantly out from the Necros. He wants to come back into this fight. Yao now going to be certified that Earth Ruling. More support arriving from Luo. A double kill for Ferrari. He wants to back up until this Malediction has run its course. Now the Lich Holly also comes in for free. Bouncing up to Sylar. He's going to creep right next to him. He got isolated for it. It's a dieback for LGD. Zhao went back and range the tower. Ferrari will kill him off. It was a DD for the entire time. An ultra kill for Ferrari. And Invictus Gaming, you thought they won the laning before. They basically just won the war against LGD.
That was a 6-0 fight right there. Plus tier 1 tower. That's just really good control of the Brewmaster by burning in that
Dire's
time. It's a
top
good cycle
tower
on the Bat Rider immediately after the lasso. And the Sonic Wave from Ferrari, like you said, hit. I think it even hit 4 targets. It at least hit 3.
It got the
Bristleback
2
stuck.
supports to the back.
Yeah, it might have hit the bat in the front too, actually, with like the cone shape. But regardless, like no matter what, how many it hit enough.
Yep.
And then the Chain Frost from Faith gets
Dire's
the
top
Necro
tower
and
is under attack.
That was probably one of the saddest things though, like the fact that Necro, you come back and then you've got one creep that's standing next to you that killed you. Like that's how he died.
he had 2 lives and didn't get to use ult. That's a problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was saying Sylar could try for... Well, he's going to go for the mech, it looks like. It's just going to be a pretty late mech, but at this rate, it's probably the best choice now, so that they at least stand a chance at fighting. Shadow Fiend is going for a BKB first item, so that he can do stuff, but even then, he's still going to be a little bit in trouble. Bristleback, lots of physical damage, the Sonic Wave that goes through it, and even Bruce Split can actually, at this stage in the game, is decently like, that was a Necrophos there, that blood pool. He died in literally 1 second.
That's just
The map
screaming
is
from
fine.
the finger.
10,000 gold minute 14. This is a really a stompy early game. I like to say 1,000 gold per minute. Before minute
Radiant's
20 is
bottom
like
tower
an
is under
absolute stomp,
attack.
and we're approaching it for IG. This LGD are going to have to pull off some really solid mid game here to have a chance.
Yeah. Like, actually, more than solid. Because they need catch-up. Like, they can't even fight in the mid-game until the Shadow Fiends had time to find
Radiant's
farm,
bottom
find stacks.
tower is
I don't know
under
if they can...
attack.
If maybe Roshan is their key to victory. If they're able to take that one out. Like, they're stacking up their Ancients, but it'll take a while for them to kite and farm this. They know farm is their only way back into this. Critical items, get the BKB up and running, finish that mech over on Sylar. You got the Blink Dagger on the Bat Rider, so that's more of a positional thing, which means vision is critical for that. That's the way LGD can try and push back into this. But you've got a mech, you've got now a Sanj over on Luo. So he's got a large amount of HP to battle through. Even Queen of Pain with this Orchid. So even
Maybe he's
if
in a really good position if they could set him up, but they can't. He at least breaks the smoke.
instantly.
Is Sentry too late?
Yep.
Gonna
And then
maybe
smoke
try for
breaking
another
out.
one here, Faith.
Radiant's middle tower is under
They're
attack.
still just running into them. They don't care.
Oh, why should you? You've got your full mech up. Everyone's
They're
got
now
ice
gonna farm
armor.
another stack. This is like, okay, so Luo in this game so far has farmed the enemy big stack. He's farmed his own ancient stack, and he's now farming the enemy ancient stack. It looks like LGD want this to happen. They want to take a fight here. And if Luo's on half on one starts, they might have a shot here.
There's the lasso. Can he get the mech off? Does he have time for it? Another scythe. It's gonna drop 75 seconds on the sideline. Was this next level bait? Was this, here's a whole bunch of money, come and farm it.
Radiant's top
I
tower
actually
is
think
under
he farmed the
attack.
majority of the ancients. Oh, triple clap from burning.
Yep, and then into the split too. The Sonic Wave from Ferrari! Again hitting so hard, maybe he got Orchid up. There's nothing he can do in this fight. No Requiems, no Razors. MMY is trying to stay alive here, but he's not quite sure if he should turn around because Silas in a world of hurt. He's gonna get Frost Blasted down as the Queen of Pain who gets the kill, while up into the air again, that Brewmaster split from burning. This works so much of overtime. Ferrari's now gonna go on Zhao Wei. I almost feel that this game is almost over at the moment with a double kill in for Ferrari. It's an 8-0-3 Queen of Pain. They're killing him underneath their tier 2 towers after they lost the Bristleback for no real trade-off in damage. But every single time, Ferrari, he is hitting the hole 100% of the
Dire's
time.
middle tower is under attack.
These Sonic Waves have been really good. But that fight, getting a triple clap from Brewmaster just sets him up so perfectly there, burning with the initiation just on point. He actually even got unlucky with his Primal Split. So he used Split and the Fire Spirit got stuck beneath. It was behind a fissure. It didn't split atop the cliff, but below it, it still didn't matter. Like, their damage output is way too high. They're gonna get even more items flowing in now, and the only thing that went bad for them that fight was that Luo died, but I think while he died, his Bristleback procced like 2 or 3 times, and he actually killed the Ancients with it. The majority of them is now maybe, it's gonna be certainly dead.
Yep. Nothing much is really going to stop that. Hilarious thing is, at least got to cast one ability. He cast more abilities during that 4-on-1 fight than he did during the last team fight.
Radiant's middle tower
Because
is
Ferrari
under
just
attack.
controls him, and Silas now also potentially going to die. With Orchid, Scream, he just TP's out. Ferrari will take the rune and Siler bails.
He is really poor on that Necro. He was their safe lane farmer, right? We saw in the start that he was on par with the big farmers on IG. He is now 3rd on his team. He died 5 times and bought back once, and he's cast 1 ultimate to show for it in the entire game. It's really difficult to play Necrophos in this game, I think. The early game had to go better on the other lanes, but LGD with their draft they put themselves under pressure, and they didn't help maybe enough, I feel, in the early game. They let him get dominated by Ferrari, and the trade-off they got wasn't really that good.
With the way Ferrari's been playing of late, even if you feel the matchup is even, which, like you already said before, like Queen of Pain, it's an advantage for her at the very start. But with Ferrari, the way he's been playing, you have to lend assistance. There's just no choice. This guy's playing. Ferrari has stepped up his game just in the last couple of weeks. It's really helping IG to get.
He might be the best mid lane player right now, lane-wise. Just raw lane play, he is exceptionally good right now.
And the funny thing is, like, it's not just coming with support from IG. In fact, most of the time when IG been playing, it's more of the 8, 9, 10 minutes when the supports rotate in. They bring either the jungler of Chuan, or they bring in like a dual roam gank. They don't give him a lot of help in the early stages unless he's up against like a dual lane or something like that. Then they have a look at it. But most of the rest of the time, it's just let him do his thing.
There is finally a minute 20 for the safe lane Necrophos. Has really not been Siler's game, this one.
This is one of those games where you almost wish he had a hand of Midas.
Yeah, then he would have had a hand of Midas right now.
Yeah, and nothing else.
I don't know. But he had a great showing in game number 1 on the PA, but this game is just, it's a lot harder, and he has way less space to move and play his hero in. And well, it's slowing down right now, where LGD are just looking for pickoffs. They might find Chuan here in the bot lane. Actually, no. They didn't see him, and now they see him.
They're worried. They're worried. They feel his fate. Blink lasso. Chuan's gonna be dragged back, but now Luo reveals himself. MMY just turns on the ultimate. They get the kill, and the mech from Luo keeps him up. So the Witch Doctor will drop, and the LGD gank backfires badly with a surprise bristle.
I don't know what to do for LGD at this point in the game. It's kind of, they've lost. It's kind of like the last game with the Naga Siren, where you just feel like one team has complete map control and is inevitably going to be able to push high ground. But this time around, LGD in this game have a chance late game, I feel. But it needs to be IG making a crucial mistake first, so LGD get a lot of gold, and then maybe. But pushing high ground against LGD is actually difficult, so that's going to be their last bastion. They will be giving up their remaining tier 2s. They should not be fighting for them with this deficit. But when it comes to high ground, Bat Rider, Shaker, Witch Doctor, all 3 of those are actually really good defensive heroes. And any mistake from IG can get called out by the Bat, and then just one kill at a time for LGD. They're going to be worth like 2,000 gold each soon. So
Radiant's top tower is under
Actually,
attack.
might want to be a little bit cautious about pushing up. Luo needs to pick up that 22-minute room before he's got a chance to go anywhere. The downside about Bristleback walking around with this mech, like, I was actually thinking I should say, like, how does IG even make a mistake? I'm looking around going, well, you're not going to kill Ferrari. He's got BKB Aegis as well as frickin' Orchid. So if he dies, then it really is a huge mistake. And Burning's got a Vladimir's, a Blink, Strength Treads, and Split. So he shouldn't die either. Luo's the only one that could potentially get caught out with a mistake. And only because he'd be caught out of mana.
Oh, Bat. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, Burning.
He's actually going to be standing in the fire. Very fitting. How long's left on that Firefly? I shouldn't be able to kill him from full HP anyway.
Yeah, I was just wondering how long they could hold him there and keep the Blink Dagger on cooldown, but it wore off before the cooldown and the Blink Dagger was done. No. But Bristleback's he still doesn't actually have enough mana. He's got 3 bottle charges up his sleeve.
What is he buying now? I think there's an item he could buy here that would be really good for multi-purpose. That's not that common in Bristle, but it's also not like the first time it gets bought. I think a Yule Scepter would actually be really nice for Luo. It's a counterplay to Bad Rider's Lasso when he engages. It solves all of his mana problems, and it gives him extra movement speed, so he can very quickly get in the fight. His mana pool right now, I feel like, is actually not necessarily sufficient if well, if he engages the fight with full mana, maybe, actually. Then he has 700 plus Tread Switch and a bottle. But bottling mid-fight is very difficult against the Dire lineup.
Yeah.
Yules could still be a cool choice against Bad. Ultimately, or alternatively, he just tanks up entirely and gets like something like a Cuirass or a Heart, so he can't really die anymore.
Yeah, I was watching IG so closely. There was a couple of pings coming out, and I wasn't quite sure if that was LGD asking to initiate onto the Bristle pack, which was only the illusion that was running forward. Now that would have been the sadder thing, to lasso the illusion thinking you're going to get the advantage at the start of the fight. But they let it go. Bristleback will push the lane. There's only one tier 2 tower remaining on the top lane. That appears where IG is headed to next. Aggressive ward behind it, take the tower. If potentially they can catch out, in fact they will. You've got mech, there's no TP, so Salo won't be able to escape the way he did before. So Orchid Scream, work the Sonic Wave here to ensure the kill, and they're going to take him as well. With the Finger of Death as well. It was the only way they're going to get the kill. They didn't have enough damage to do it.
I don't think they needed the Sonic, actually. They
Really?
needed to use Sonic or Finger, because they had the Orchid still. The Orchid damage was going to pop as well.
Oh yeah.
And he used mech already, but still, I mean, style points for just completely blowing him up, I guess.
Send a message.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Still
also want to end this quickly.
Right?
Remember, if they want to win this, they got to win 4. They got to win 3 games up against VG Gaming, and so that's potentially 4 games you have to play more on top of this best of 3.
Dire's top tower is
And
under
I say
attack.
4 because in case people have only just tuned in, we have the grand final coming up next. The winner of this series plays up against VG
Radiant's
Gaming.
bottom
But
tower
VG Gaming
is
do
under
have a
attack.
1-game advantage
Dire's top tower
because they
is
came
under attack.
directly through the upper bracket.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Hilariously enough, through LGD.
I think this tournament and
Radiant's
Starladder are
bottom
the
tower
last
is
remaining
under
tournaments that
Dire's
still
top
use
tower has
winner
fallen.
bracket advantage, right? I feel like that's being
Bottom
phased
tower
out
has
by
fallen.
most tournaments.
Like, it's hard to use groups like ESL as an example because they hate double elimination. So
Yeah, that's not really, yeah, you can't really use that as an example.
Yeah.
They don't have an advantage in the finals either, with single elim, obviously.
but
So, I feel like these are the last remaining tournaments, and it used to be the norm. If you go back a few years, we used to have a lot of tournaments that, in the grand finals, it was 1-0 for the winner bracket team, but it's kind of... There's been some arguments made as to why
It takes
There's
away from
arguments
the
on both
hype.
sides.
But now, we just jump in. Burning, great collapse, into the split. Yeah, drops like a sack of potatoes. Now, Lich ultimate. It's carving LGD up. They've just lost 3. They're about to lose 4. Ferrari's got Scream. Doesn't have his Orchid up and round. But just go for the Shadow Strike to slow down Xiaowei. There's the Blink to Scream. There's a double kill for Ferrari. He's 11-0-5 with a almost 15k net worth 26 minutes in. Oh, yeah.
this game is like mega over right now.
So we could just talk about the point before. It takes away from the hype of the grand finals. Because when you have like a best of 3 grand final, you get a 1-game advantage. It's like, oh, that game was over in 1. What a final. That's memorable right there. It's like, no. No way. If it's a best of 5, it could also be done in 2.
Yeah,
Dire's
there's
middle
arguments being
tower
made
is
for both
under
sides
attack.
that, well, you went through the winners bracket, so you should have an advantage. The other thing is, well, some people argue that going through the winners bracket is, oh, wait a second.
Yeah, it's one. There's one pickup, but he's not fast enough. He's never forced up with a scythe. Oh, it doesn't drop him. The mech charge from Luo was able to get there in time, so at least Luo can save him from the scythe death.
Oh, welp.
And now I think he wants to try and fight this. He got a couple of core sprays up, and LGD realized they do not want to keep getting stacked like that.
IG just gonna reset. So, yeah, where were we? So, as far as the winner bracket advantage goes, some people argue that it's an advantage already going through the winners bracket, so you have to play less games, and you're like less stressed out, and you have more time to study your opponents in the games they have to play, and that's an advantage in itself.
Yep.
Some say that's no real advantage, so you need to have like a game advantage or something.
You ask a player at the end of tonight if they're playing all the way to the end of their 7th game, and ask, are you feeling tired or more tired than the other team? The answer is going to be yes, that was an advantage which they had.
But
So-
that's if you have both games on the
on the same day.
on the same day.
Yeah.
But if there's a day between, you can argue that fatigue is less.
Correct.
I think there's arguments to be made for both sides, but it's an interesting discussion actually that's been had multiple times.
Each to their own, really. Each to their own. Or whatever the teams debate dictate that we should do. Players Union for the win. Here comes your push-up pin. So LGD, they're one player down as far as the buybacks go. Necro doesn't actually have it. He's going to use it. Blink, Lansu, they manage to strike more, but look at Burning, so deep in. He's able to get the split off, but the Death One did some level of work until finally the stun was able to arrive. Maybe got his Requiem assault, but Harry just doesn't care. He just stays around, tanks up, blinks himself away. He's not too healthy. In fact, they did end up losing the Brusque back and the Literal buyback. That's the last Bruling. He's only got 1 second left on it, and there's not enough damage coming in from LGD to bring it down in time. So LGD are down at
Radiant's
SF,
top tower is under attack.
and all of IG, well, they're trying to win this with their money. They bought back in both
Dyer's
Bristle as
bottom
well as
tower
Lich, but
is
you had
under
the buyback
attack.
of the Witch Doctor, as well as the Necro as well from LGD.
It's funny, like there's a team fight where both sides buy back, and the Dire gain 2,500 gold. That's when you're this far behind. Then any somewhat even fight is going to favor you in terms of golden experience. So LGD got something out of that. They're gonna need to do it again. That's the problem. There's a Roshan now. They can't contest it.
They checked it, but Burning blinked in and then left 5 seconds before Roshan's fought. But it may not matter because they've already gone for Sylar. Finger of Death. He's actually forced up, able to get the Mega Charge off. But with the Malediction on Burning, he's going to be careful. But Luo doesn't care. He's just charging in with his BKB. The Lich Ult is going to arrive. The Scythe couldn't stop him from getting the last attacks in. So the Necro is down. The Witch Doctor as well. They can at least hold Luo in range of these tier 4 towers. But Ferrari with that Skadi, they just can't run away. But Ferrari's going to die to the tier 4 towers. Maybe just a little bit too
Money
deep.
from Xiaowei. They got 2 kills because of that fissure. It went right in the middle of Queen of Pain and Bristle. Bristle died to the tier 4 tower, and then Quop died to the tier 4 tower. So that's a really good hold from LGD. Look at that gold they just got from that. I can't see the. Oh, there's the fight recap.
Yeah, I don't know what was. I was waiting for it to appear. It took like 5 hours to appear.
1,000 gold, 3,000 experience. Well, just do it a couple more times, I guess. Then
1,400 gold each for the Earthshaker and the Shadow Fiend. Yeah.
that was also super aggressive from Luo, though. Like he dove in between the tier 4s. They didn't have Primal Split. They could have taken Roshan, which they obviously didn't know was up. And I think Ferrari in that fight might have not even used his BKB either. If he did, it expired at least. So that was a little bit clumsy. There's some room for error here for IG though. They need to be a little bit careful because LGD, like I said, their high ground defense, we're seeing it here. Shaker, Batrider, and Witch Doctor in the base are actually really good. So even with a big lead like IG have, they can still miss up.
Also flag the fact with these two heroes down, Roshan's open, and you see maybe he's picked up the Eagle song. So I think they want to try and pop themselves in, take Roshan if they can do so before Russell backs back into position. Actually, no, they can't. They don't have time for this. There's no way they can do it. Especially when the SF's not at max souls.
Oh, if this fight's going to break out, this is probably bad news for LGD.
Is Burning going to jump up? The Observers and Sentries are down
It's
for
really good
LGD.
position.
With the high ground their way, maybe throws out a raise, which is going to fly to Chuan. Then they're up there and he jumps up, gets a stun. It's over the Batrider with the Fission. Maybe he's going to buy some space until Burning jumps in with the BKB. Ferrari with the Sonic Wave. They mop up to Batrider, fall back, and maybe just blinds it up and obliterates the Lich. Unfortunately, Chuan's going to end right there. Ferrari, even with the Malediction on him, he will not be dying. They've lost 3 players. Roshan's exposed now for IG, with LGD in no position to contest this. And they bought back in the Batrider, so that was a 4-for-1 trade-off.
And the fight recap, yeah, that's about a 4,000 gold swing right there.
Gonna be more with Roshan.
So that's all that IG just lost. They got it back, and they got a Roche.
There's another one. There's an Observer one up on top of the hill here. They can see Yao. So if they want to jump, there's your Orchid. Surprisingly enough, Burning didn't jump up. I don't know if he got attacked at the last moment. But it stopped his engagement. He's going to
And it's funny to see how far LGD are behind, but how much gold Xiao 8 has. He has a Blink, double Bracer, and 2,000 gold. That's just that fight in the face that they won before, where he got a lot of that gold. And he's still, well, he's level 13 as well. So, I mean, a big Echo Slam, it is still theoretically possible, but with all the BKBs on the Radiant, if they just pop the BKBs correctly, they can get a lane of racks off that alone. They could just go mid, use split, use their BKBs and hit the buildings probably. And If they just spread out well enough, they won't be caught out. Still, it is possible. They've done it before, LGD.
And anything is possible, man. Rubber Bandit. Just bounce it.
And LGD are an exceptionally good team at fighting high ground. That was one of their strengths during DAC. They had games where they got really far behind, but their high ground defense with heroes like Void and Medusa was amazing. But in this game, their Medusa got banned out, and Sylar had to go for an alternative that I think he wasn't as happy with, but that's what they decided for him.
Well, if IG jump like they did before, like deep underneath the tier 4 towers, and for once Necro's ulti works, as in gets the kill. I think to this point he's only killed one person with a scythe, and that was more around the 10-15 minute mark that ended up happening. So he's not finding this bonus time up against IG. The second time where he almost got it, the Bristleback ended up arriving with a mech charge, which denied him the kill. They need to get some breathing room. It's at least not going up against Nagasaren. The IG lineup is going to have problems going into the later portion of the game because their split push isn't really as strong. Their ability to force up the high ground up against Razors, Firefly, Cask, all this kind of jazz is nowhere near as easy. They have to rely on their tank ability and their engagement now. Like that initiation through Sonic Wave, the Blink Clap split, the Lion getting the perfect Hex. These things are going to start to drop off in time. And with Xiao Wade having a Blink Dagger, the counter initiation with the Echo Slam is quite scary for IG. And they gave him the chance to do it because they fed those 2 kills over. Because the Shadow Fiend's getting to a point too where he's going to finish his Butterfly shortly. And what physical damage do you have directly going into the Shadow Fiend? Like, are you going to get a Monkey King Bar over on the Bristleback? Do you just try and find a Scythe on the quad? It looks like she's going for a Shivas.
I actually think MKB and Bristle wouldn't be half bad here. He's tanky enough as it is right now. 25 armor with Lich's Ice Armor. He has a mech, BKB, and SNY. So I think MKB is definitely a choice. They could also get an MKB on the Quap, but looks like she's getting a Shiva's Guard. So I mean, it's still, even if Shadow Fiend gets strong, he doesn't hit hard enough yet. And what they can just do is they can control him, or even if he's in BKB, just kill the other heroes. I still think IG are so far ahead that their tank ability is... He's going to need like a Daedalus before he starts becoming a real threat with the right clicks, and that is still very far off.
Where are you off to, Witch Doctor? He's got an Observer ward, but if he's going to plant this right on top of the other ward, which is already down for the Radiant side. So IG know exactly where LGD have vision. But LGD, they've got themselves a smoke, which they have been moving together, like it looks like they want to use it. But waiting is not going to win this game for them. Like, it's fine if you can keep up with the item progression and you go neck and neck with your farm when the creep waves reach the base, but right now they're so far away from all the waves, they're not really achieving anything.
They can't really farm.
No, and they can't really fight because they're going to fight into what, Nagus the Immortal on a Bristleback? It's death, really.
And this is Shivas for Ferrari, and Burning, I think, does have his Cuirass. It's in base, though. And with those two items.
He's got the blade, yeah, the plate mail and the chainmail on the courier.
And the recipe in base, and he has the Hyperstone on himself. So he should... It's done. Yeah, it's just a matter of time before IG goes for this. And it's going to take a miracle from LGD, but I've seen them perform miracles in their base, so... It is doable, but...
While LGD are basically having a smoko inside their break, nothing is really possible for them. They can't stick in here forever. They have to attempt something.
Yeah, they're getting out-farmed by, I think, 500 to 1,000 gold per minute right now by the Radiant team.
Yeah.
Just in raw lane farm and jungle. And if they're not even moving out on the map, like you said, they're just gonna... The advantage is gonna be so big that IG can actually make like 3 or 4 mistakes in the fight and still win it.
Yep. Because they'll just end up buying back and TPing to that tier 1 tower that's still standing in mid. Come and rejoin the fight. Like, you don't even need to have BTs on this lineup while you still have that tier 1. And they caught MMY. Is there enough damage? They forced half him up on top of the hill. So the Witch Doctor is down. Probably bring up that buyback menu. He doesn't have buyback.
They might be going mid with this, actually. They know where the entirety of LGD is, and that it's 5-on-4, so they could try for it. They can also wait for the next Roche, which is in like at least 3 minutes.
At least.
It's like 3 to 6, but I don't know. They can do whatever they want, right? That's the whole point. Just look at the gold graph. This is, if you look at until this kill they just found in MMY, how much gold per minute they've been gaining with 0 objectives or kills taken. That's just raw lane farm. That's absurd. How much they're out farming LGD right now.
It's because they're taking everything. They're taking Dire jungle, they're taking all the creep waves, taking Radiant jungle, and they're able to space themselves out and to have such a sporadic team line because LGD aren't moving out. And they can see when they do because they have the observer wards down. So unless LGD commit themselves together for a smoke, which it looks like they're going to do now, there's no other way they can get an advantage. So they can't keep playing this waiting game. All this is doing is basically... I almost want to feel like the teacher in school. It's your own time you're wasting.
Yeah, I feel like LGD are waiting too long as well. You've got to make a play now. I understand that they feel like they have a better chance on high ground, and of course they do. They have a way better chance on high ground, but that chance is diminishing with every minute. Like, they're just... This gold graph it's not going to stop.
They almost have to do what they did before. Actually, was it LG that did that in the last game? The double smoke move? You run all the way down,
yeah,
you can't find him. Was that IG?
I can't remember.
I honestly can't remember which team it was. I just remember the smoke move itself. But that's almost what they have to commit. Run yourself down, you don't find anyone down there. The box has been drawn out by IG, in fact, saying, I think LGD are down there until they see maybe. And he's not there, he's in bottom lane. So if they smoke out, they check one area because you're blind to the back. You don't have any vision at all. So your only choice is to guess. Have a really good guesstimation of where IG is. Come out in the smoke, try and move up while you hold the high ground, unlike previous fights. That's the only way they have a chance to win this. Because if they just sit back and they keep farming up, like it's almost 40k experience advantage. They're going almost 1k a minute, IG. Because LGD have just stopped.
Yeah, we're reaching the point where the Lion has level 16 and Aghanim Scepter. The Lich has... Okay, a Force Staff. That was underwhelming. I thought he was going to have a little bit more than that. all the other heroes are ridiculously big.
That Bristleback's got enough money for a full heart. So when
the GPM on Ferrari? 627 on a Quap. That's really high.
His experience per minute's even higher than that. He's almost reaching 700. Well, here's the smoke time. It looks like IG is sick of waiting. They know LGD don't have any vision out here, so they just smoke in the middle of the river. And they're looking to come up through mid. Now, LGD haven't exposed themselves in a very, very long time, because it's just defense as usual. But can they see Yao? Nope. Even when they come close. Alright, so they just de-ward. that was one of the most unimpressive smokes I've seen in a while.
So I think what LGD did was they were down there and they counter-warded that ward. I can't remember if they smoked out for it or not. At IGC they lose their ward, so they're like, okay, we want this control of the map back, we just smoke down there and take it over again. I mean, ultimately you can be like as a spectator, why aren't they just pushing? This is boring. They're really far ahead. Why don't they end the game? It's LGD losing this game. It's the team that's not pushing that's playing the best right now. If anything, LGD are the team that need to try to make a move, and them just staying in the base and turtling is actually the worst play. It's way better what IG is doing, and they're playing to win, right? You can be like, boring, go push, but well, if the losing team don't want to come outside their base,
well, they
care. Why would you care?
They know.
Just get rich, right?
They're not falling behind by sitting outside. They're still finding their farm, they're still finding the items, and in a timing world, LGD aren't advancing themselves forward. So even if you were saying, well, you hit that 50-minute mark, normally an SF and a Necrolite's going to be fantastic, you have to know that because they've been sitting in their base for the past 5 to 10 minutes, there's 5 to 10 minutes you have to push back these timings which LGD would have normally hit. They almost have to make this game go to 70 minutes, and that's only if they become active.
The farm Necrophos has is actually what you have if you have good farm on Necrophos. You have the gold he has at about sub-minute 20. So that's how far behind he is. And he's not taking the farm in the base. They're giving all of it to the Shadow Fiend.
It looks like Sylar, if they can give a little bit more to Sylar, he just missed the smoke. Ow, I hit my eye.
Did you hit yourself on tape falling?
Yeah,
Nice. Good job.
They this is their smoke to move out, and they only connected on 3 of their players. And they put their observer and sentry down, which means they can see that ward. And MMY is going to de-ward it, so now they know there's an observer and a sentry there. So the smoke, like, I always feel you should have just left it as the observer and sentry and not taking care of that observer ward. Because now IG will come up and they'll get rid of it. They got all the money in the world. They got a gem over on Faith. That observer and sentry's not going to survive. And now we finally get what IG might have been waiting for, and that's Roshan. They walk in. This is the 3rd one, so they'll take Aegis and Cheese, and they're good to go. They could at least force the fight.
There's the BKB and Necro. Right there, careful.
Woo, okay.
They don't know what's happening. They don't see any of LGD.
They're getting scared of their own shadows.
Well, Ferrari wasn't there, to be fair. So that could have been a 4 and 5 if LGD were smoked, but they're actually just sitting inside their base and waiting. But since that ward they placed earlier and that they smoked out to place got counter-warded again and then placed again by LGD, they don't know what's happening.
Here we go. This is our castle. This is our castle. They're in the castle.
Alright, they're moving out. Shadow Fiend's in the lane. This is Rush. That's all IG needed to see. They just needed to be 100% certain that LGD weren't fighting smoke and were going to get.
It also helps the fact that Ferrari just triggered a DD breach, so they're going to be very quick about this.
Radiant's middle
Surprisingly
tower
enough, they don't give anything to Ferrari. They give it to
Radiant's
Burning as well as
middle tower has
Luo.
fallen.
The guy with the heart you give the Aegis the Immortal to.
Yeah, I think it's actually the best hero to give it to, because he will be the pusher. He's going to stand in the front lines and start hitting the tower, and he's going to force LGD to make a reaction, and the only reaction they have is a lasso into the tier 4s. But since he's so hard to kill the first time, he'll just tank up everything, go down, then when he comes up, he'll BKB and they'll take racks. And there is absolutely, like, we're reaching the point now where LGD actually have no play against this. Before it was ridiculously hard, now I'm going to say it's borderline impossible to do this. And that's what the last 10 minutes of farming have given them, is that they're 10,000 gold ahead, or 1,000 gold ahead per minute, pretty much. And the whistle is so. Look, this is what's going to happen.
They drag for Luo.
They just use everything.
Yep. There's the side. Well, they get the Aegis down. They got the Aegis down.
They used everything. Now they can't fight it.
Well, then they've still got Requiem, they've still got Echo Slam, they've still got Death Ward. So, where's that position from Shalway? Throws out the Fisher, slows down Luo. The mid-rags is slowly going down, yes, but you've already burnt the Aegis, the Immortal. You lost your mid-rags. But on the bright side, now you can stay inside your base and the creep wave will reach you.
The problem is that if IG play this right, they just take 2 lanes. Like, they just go top and do the same. There is no initiation on this Bristle. They can't kill him.
Is under attack.
Because the only way they kill him is pulling him into the tier 4s like that. They can't do that again. So, this is going to be the front line.
Bingo. SF, he was the only man with a buyback for LGD. Actually, take that back. Bat Rider has it as well. Sent up into the air by the Brewmaster ultimate. They have to bring down these towers and into the racks. They don't always just have to focus on the kills. Get control of the lanes. The Brewmaster ultimate is being whittled away. They got rid of the 5 early, but there's still 2 more that's causing so many problems. LGD are being held at bay by 1 Master of Brew. Burning, unable to pull himself away, and there's good Echo Slam. They need more control. Requiem from maybe. Combining up with the Death Wall. The Requiem taking way too long to get out there. And the Lich holding most of it being stroked up by the Dark Green Wave. That's 1 upside for LGD, but they still haven't killed off Luo. They lose their Shadow Fiend. That's the dieback right there. Sylar is just basically gummed up completely by Ferrari, as well as Luo. That's going to be GG. IG will be able to advance themselves through. They come through the lower bracket, defeating the team that knocked them down in that winner's bracket semi-final. And they will be the team to go up against VG Gaming in the grand final up next. Do you have any remaining thoughts?
It's good to see the composure. It's good to see the composure of IG. VG Gaming, for me, is still the strongest team in China. So, going up against them, they will be underdogs, and they're going to have to win 3 games out of 4. And that means you need really good composure, and you need to not throw away games in which you get the lead. Because the only way they win against VG Gaming is if either VG Gaming are really good at playing early game, right? So if they play a good early game.